us a little bit more about actually what the Riparian Zone is and then what the Riparian project entails.
So Riparian Zone is basically the stretch of vegetation that borders any water body or tributary. It can be a river, it can be a creek, it can be a small stream, it can also be a lake or the ocean. And the Riparian Zone or the Riparian area is often delimited in writing in documents by a 30-meter zone or a 100-meter zone. But really what it's about is the transition in vegetation communities. And so that's why it's very delicate to establish, for instance, plots or to assess the riparian areas at a certain depth along the river banks, for instance, because it's all about observing nature and what nature is telling us, where the vegetation community suddenly changes to higher elevation. So riparian areas are very important for multiple reasons, and one easy way of putting it is the land needs the water and the water needs the land, but without the riparian zone there is just collapse and erosion and degradation of the land. So wildlife, fish, vegetation community need the riparian zone to merge. They are like the synapses in our bodies. If the river is our veins and arteries in our body, then the riparian zone would be the connecting tissues that make everything work. A riparian zone helps filter the water that runs off into the creek or the river, but it also prevents erosion by holding in the banks and providing a lot of food for the fish and aquatic life. So by understanding that, we understand the significance of riparian areas when it comes to fish habitats. Without riparian vegetation, there is no fish. There is no fish habitat. There is no hiding space. There is no insects falling in the water. There is no cool water and oxygenated water. So when we looked at this twin watershed project and the approach to assessing the health of these two watersheds, one part is in-stream habitat, but the other part is bringing in the land aspect and the riparian zone assessments. So because of that, then we looked at how can we do that by building local capacity, and how can we do that not only by building ecological resilience but also community resilience. And the twin watersheds focused its efforts on hiring local communities, so people like myself, Heather Pritchard, local consultants, but also local indigenous people, Cowichan tribes and their crews, to train them, hire them, but also build knowledge and develop that local resilience in the community.